Hello children, we'll start with our first part of learning in biology, the structure of chromosomes, cell cycle and cell division. To begin with, we'll have to just recollect a few of things from our class 9 text, and I'll just like to remind you, I have it here. This is a class 9 textbook. In chapter 1 on cell in class 9th, we had already done about the structure of cell. This is a very familiar diagram you have been practicing. Into this, I'd like to show you in the nucleus, we had some labeling over here as thread-like structures called as chromatin fibers. Into these fibers only are present the bearers of heredity called the genes, or what we call as the sequences or the DNA, right? The deoxyribonucleic acid. Now, as we start with our class 10th syllabus, the same chromatin is what is also condensing into the structures called chromosomes. You all have received this layout of the notes that I have prepared for you. And herein, if you have seen children, the first thing I have shown is a similar cell, is a resting cell or the non-dividing cell. Same chromatin material, thread-like or thin slender threads, they are seen clearly. But the same chromatin condenses into thick, stout, something what we have a shape like this, structures which are dumbbell shaped and thick and short called chromosomes. This especially is not just a change of this shape, but also that it hints the stage of cell, that it is a very actively dividing stage when it is in the form of chromosome. So basically children, what I mean to say is chromatin condenses into chromosome at the time of cell division. To move on into the notes you must have studied, this was first observed by Walther Flemming, a scientist from Germany, and he studied the same in an amphibian called salamander. Flemming not only did the discovery for the first time, but he is also credited with the term mitosis that he used, that is meaning thread, because this resembled the threads. Then we should know here the number of chromosomes which are fixed in every human cell, which are basically 46 in every cell, or we also say as 23 pairs. The chemical composition of these chromosomes, they are basically of two types. DNA, we have 40%, and 60% as a type of protein known as histones, right? Before we move further, let me tell you the abbreviation and meaning of DNA, how it is expanded. It means deoxyribonucleic acid. Just to remind you children, I have always taught you the term D means without and oxy means oxygen. So basically this nucleic acid, because it's found inside the nucleus, is without oxygen. That's why we call it deoxyribonucleic acid. A similar nucleic acid called as RNA will be everything like the previous minus deoxy. So it becomes absolutely very clear, ribonucleic acid. Then two more terms children to understand. Nucleosome. Just imagine you have a football in your hand and a rope, and how would you just tie two loops around a football is an assembly like this. So what does it mean here? There's a core of 8 histone proteins which forms the core, resembles a football, and the rope resembles the DNA thread which forms 1 or 2 loops. And this entire complex we call as a nucleosome. So new word for you to learn children. It's an assembly of histone proteins and the DNA thread wound around it, forming 1 or 2 loops. A new term, what we also call as nucleotide. Nucleotide is an assembly of 3 things. There's a sugar carbon, that is pentose. Why pentose? It has 5 edges. So pentose carbon sugar. At one end, there's a phosphate group or phosphate attachment, and on the other, there's a nitrogenous base. So 3 things what form the basis of nucleotide: pentose sugar, phosphate, and nitrogenous base. Now there are basically 4 types of nitrogenous bases. A for adenine, T for thymine, G guanine, and C cytosine. And it is very specific. At a given time in a nucleotide, any one of this would be present. So basically there's also something further that we need to add, children. A always shows a bonding with T, and that has a double hydrogen bond. So this you must learn it by heart, that adenine always bonds with T and cytosine always bonds with G, that is guanine. But here they have a triple bond. So you must understand it is easy to break up this than this. Alright. So herein a familiar diagram from your text which I have already uploaded. Herein you can see there are two parallel strands of DNA. These are like, you can imagine like a wooden ladder. So these are the two length of the ladders, and these are what you call as the rungs of the ladder or the horizontal axis. So you can see the pairing, children. If I hide the other side, you should be able to tell. T, if it is here, then here would be obviously only A, no other nitrogenous base. If it is C over here, then naturally the other would be G. Obviously here again, so this is like a game which you can play in. One of the partners, if you know, the other can be predicted by this rule, AT and CG or GC, however you call it. So I hope this part is clear, children. Moving further, the certain definitions which I have made for you, I'm sure you have copied. Please make a new textbook or a notebook, and please copy down these and try to learn them. Once you've understood, chromosomes, as I told you, highly condensed coiled chromatin fibers. Then centromere. What is a centromere? Coming back to that same structure, it is a central point of attachment between two arms of a chromosome, which are called as two chromatids. Sometimes we call as two sister chromatids, but that's nothing to do with the gender, children. It's just the way of naming them. So centromere is this point of attachment, and it has a lot of significance during cell division. We'll talk about this later. So that's centromere, point of attachment between two sister chromatids of a chromosome, and appears as a constricted region. Nucleosome, the same assembly over here. What is nucleosome by definition? It is the DNA strand winds around a core of 8 histone molecules. Each such complex is called a nucleosome, and this can be imagined like a football around which a long rope is wound with 1 or 2 loops. Then nucleotide. What is a nucleotide? It's the same assembly, children, that we talked just now. The three things. So how would you define it? Each DNA strand is composed of repeating nucleotides which are made of 3 components: the phosphate, sugar, that is pentose, arranged lengthwise, and a nitrogenous base attached to the sugar inwards. Always remember, children, that as I told you, if this is the wooden ladder to be imagined, that inside is always the nitrogenous base, and phosphate, the blue colored structure, always on the outer part. And if you can see this, there's a gap. The gap actually is a weak hydrogen bond between the two nitrogenous bases. As I told you here, double hydrogen bond or triple. So depending on whichever nitrogenous base is here, so you can imagine how many bonds would be there. Then genes. What are genes? These are specific, that means fixed sequences of nucleotides. That means a portion of this nucleotide is what is called as a gene, the bearers of heredity. These encode a particular protein which express in the form of some particular feature of the body. Any trait, for example, the color of skin, or maybe the color of eyes, the texture of hair, etc. Right? Then, why is DNA called a macromolecule? It is called so because DNA is a very large single molecule. So these are self-made questions, children. You can write it, preferably. They will help you. Who studied the structure of DNA? Now, there's been always 2 names in this category. First time the shape was studied by Rosalind Franklin in 1953, and later on the structure was worked out by 2 people, that is Watson and Crick, in the very same year, that is 1953, when they proposed the double-stranded helical structure of DNA. What does this mean, children? This can be imagined like a spiral staircase. How the spiral staircase is shown in movies, etc., or in houses with luxurious houses, you can imagine like the same, for which they were awarded a Nobel Prize in 1962. Name the 4 nitrogenous bases. I have already told you. AT, that is adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine, what we abbreviate as GC. How do the nitrogenous bases pair? A double bond T, C double bond G. And how many nucleosomes can you imagine in a single human chromosome? There are around 1 million children. I'll just show you in the text over here. If this is one chromosome, right, and if it is like a woolen ball of that thread, so if you start opening one arm of this, you will see the chromatin fiber opening up, and that's the DNA thread. And the histone, I told you, 8 proteins. This is a nucleosome, an assembly of 8 proteins, and the DNA thread has been wound around. All right, so I hope this, if you understand, is an actual picture taken under a microscope, right? And this can be imagined as a real picture of chromosome, how it looks under a microscope. Please read the text, children. And finally, the last thing for today, I'll introduce 2 terms we call as purine and pyrimidine. Purines, always remember children, we call as A and G out of the 2 nitrogenous bases. And why they're different from pyrimidines? Because these are larger due to a double ring structure. At the same time, pyrimidines, which in DNA they are present as C and T, that is cytosine and thymine. But in RNA, this thymine is replaced by uracil. So always remember, whether it is DNA or RNA, purines are same, AG and AG. But pyrimidines, they change depending on DNA, they are CT, and in RNA, they are C and U. So today's part of learning will stop here, and next time, children, I'll just make sure that please go through your reading part starting from here, page 1, 2, 3 and up till here, that is the green box. Please try to read up the facts on your own, and in case of any queries, children, please feel free to drop any number of queries that you have, and I'll be answering them to my best. Next time, I'll be starting with the introduction, children, for the cell division, their need and other things. A question for today, I'll be uploading just very shortly. Hope you've understood, children. So, signing off with that, all the best.